Well, for me, my grandma was a reborn Christian, right? And she always prayed for me and everything. But the life I was living, stuff was around me. I used to be, if there was a God, why would He let all this stuff happen to me? Why would He let my mom and dad fight all the time? Why would my dad always be hitting me and doing stuff, right? So I used to be an angry. You know, I used to yell at God, like, I hate you, and I used to cuss at Him because I was so angry because my grandma would say, there's a God will protect you, I'm praying for you, but the things I was going through, I didn't feel protected, you know? So I grew up like that, just angry kid, letting my anger out on others, you know, so I spent my whole life like that till I was 35 years I spent like that. You know, I did get saved, but that was because my grandma kind of made me say the sinner's prayer. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. You know, she tried to help me, but I was like, from what I was living to what she was telling me, like how I said, from what she was telling me how God is to the way I was living, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe there was a God. I was always getting into fights. You know, getting into fights, and then I was real quick on the tongue with my dad when he told me something, and that ended up getting me smacked. You know, got me in trouble all the time at school. You know, it kept people away from me because they didn't want to like bother with me because they knew I had a temper and stuff like that. And then when I first deployed, same thing. People will be praying, like God's watch over us while we go on a mission. And I'm like, what y'all praying for? We're gonna die. We die. There ain't no God. You know, and they'll just be looking at me weird, and I was that jerk over there just saying all this stuff. I didn't believe, but I had people back over here in the States praying for me, and I'm glad they did.
But all that anger, did it make you lonely because everybody was pushed away?
Sometimes it did, but other times I don't need no one. I don't care. I got myself, you know, and I got a couple homeboys, and that's all I needed. And I was drinking. I just drink a lot, so.
Yeah. Kind of help me understand, what was it like growing up in your house, both the good things and the bad?
So I went through a time where things were really, really good as a young kiddo, and my mom was married to this guy in the Air Force, and he liked to go fishing, and I remember going fishing a lot and playing outdoors and having a really good time. And then things started changing when, you know, in marriage, when you're not growing it the correct way. You know, my mom has had struggles with alcoholism and drinking, and our family has a strong background of it. So I remember that growing into a problem, and it started causing issues in the marriage, and they ended up getting divorced. And then my mom couldn't afford to take care of me, so I got sent to the village. And
what's the village?
Holy Cross, Alaska.
Okay.
And I got sent with my aunt and uncle, and I got to go to fish camp and a lot of different cultural things that I was exposed to. But it wasn't always that. I got exposed to, you know, violence and just a lot of different things when families struggle with alcoholism. So it was really hard. And so when I grew up, that's kind of, you know, you just kind of grow up thinking that that's how you're supposed to handle things. And so I struggled with alcoholism too.
So many people think they're ugly because their life has been ugly, and they don't realize that God is aware of why their life was ugly, and then still in all the ugliness, they're still beautiful to Him, and that's why He chases them. That's why He chased you. In your lowest moment, when everything was the worst, God was watching. And he saw you. And he wept. What you went through was never what he wanted. It was never his plan. Because he loves us, he gives us free will, and people choose bad sometimes. Puts us in a bad spot. But he never took his eyes off of you. Nor does he anyone else. And he never gives up. And if we'll listen to the call, we'll break the curse.